What is up, you guys? Marty McFly coming at you, bringing you guys the merch. Welcome back to the Headbangers Ballroom. It has been a really long time since we've done one of these videos. I think it's been about a year. I think the last one I did was right around Halloween. It's been an eventful year, just a lot of stuff going on. A lot of things happened. You know how it goes. 2022 doesn't seem to be much better than, the rest of the years in the last, since 2020. Lots of good, lots of bad. You know how that goes. But it's been a long time since we've done one of these. Figured it'd be kind of fun to just try and do another video. I'll try not to say as much as I normally do because I know that's always been an issue with me. But these are your typical unedited videos. I don't feel like editing them. That sounds like a lot of work. But went to a couple shows recently, picked up some vinyl. I've realized it's been a long time since I've talked to you guys about this. Got a couple buddies local in town that we've been sharing vinyl, doing a little bit of an exchange. And met a lot of cool people through the YouTube, vinyl collecting scene and CDs and all that good stuff. So I just figured it'd be a shot, see how everyone's doing. Figured I'd show you guys some records, because that's how we get to know each other, right? So most recently, I was at the Orpheum in Tampa, their newest location, which is in Nebraska Avenue. If you know Nebraska, it's famous for being not a great part of town. It's kind of where all the prostitutes used to hang out. So if you've ever seen Tiger King, that whole thing they talk about Nebraska Avenue, you know exactly what I'm talking about. The new location does have a massive outdoor stage now, which I didn't get to see them play on. But the show I was just recently at, by the way, parking sucks, so get there early. Otherwise, you got to park in Walmart, and it's not a great part of town. But the owner's cool. The new location's good. The setup is pretty nice. Sounds pretty clean. There was a couple of issues with some of the bands and the setup. Hopefully that'll be something that I can fix soon. But this show involves Scumfuck, Traitors, a couple of great names, right? Scumfuck, Traitors, Victims, Worm Shepherd. Overall, a great show. I got to meet all the guys afterwards. Everyone was super nice, especially for a bunch of, mostly Florida locals. The guys in Scumfuck, just good old-fashioned, nasty, a little bit of hardcore, a little bit of deathcore in there. Overall, great band to watch. Traitors obviously killed it at the very end. The band that caught me off guard is none other than Victims. Got a chance to have them sign it. Their drummer, who's female, decided to break her foot. She still came out and finished a few sets. This is not the newest album that came out, but this is actually part 3. Got them to sign it for me. A lot of fun, a little bit of your typical hardcore with maybe a little bit of influence from the bands like Immure, Sylar, a little bit influences like that. They have a boatload of guest vocalists on here. We have Connor from Sabella, Kadeem of Loathe, Frankie Palmieri of Immure, obviously, Aiden of Falsifier, Jeremy Torres of Deadland, and Tyler Shelton of Traitors. And then we have Patrick of Reflections on the finishing track. You get plenty of tracks off of the CD. It's a lot of fun, especially if you're just in a pissed off bad mood or you're at the gym. Kind of a lot of fun. The newest record, Numb is what we're playing in the background right now. I really enjoyed what they did with Numb. I was a little unfortunate that they didn't have the CD. They said they sold out completely, so hopefully we'll get some more CD copies in the future. But part 4, Numb, a little bit more mature, cleaner sounding. They actually started singing a little bit more, making a little bit more melodies into their tracks. I even talked to the lead singer about the album afterwards, and you could tell, there was just a lot of pain going into this album. They talk about depression, the mind's ability to just take over, make you feel inescapable. I know a lot of people go through that. Overall, fantastic record, especially if you're going through something. This album kind of helps you get through it. But that's Victims. Definitely go check them out as soon as you can. Couldn't recommend them enough. Worm Shepherd, I've had this CD for a while. Got most of the band to sign it, and even the bassist, I asked him to sign the back, even though he wasn't on this record. But the bassist, however, is filling in. He's actually in the band called The Breathing Process. When I got a chance to meet him, I didn't even recognize him. But avid fan of Breathing Process. I have all their records. Great band overall. Worm Shepherd had a little bit of technical difficulties with the soundstage, but overall came out, played their hearts out. They sounded great. This is a little bit like Blackened, deathcore, a little bit of melody. This is a change up from their last record. This one has a little bit more focus on melody, but they got all the pig squeals, everything you could ever want in this band. Worm Shepherd, melodic deathcore. Couldn't recommend them enough. And then, most recent pickup, I've been excited for this for a long time. This band was not at this show, but I'm looking forward to the next time they come to Tampa, Florida. Couldn't recommend this band enough. when they announced that they're coming out with this new album. I'm sure you guys have all heard of it. This is Counterparts, the newest record from them. Eulogy for those still here. Overall, probably one of their best records. I've listened. I have their entire discography. The CDs are pretty hard to come by now from their older stuff, especially their very first album. First time I saw these guys, they were on tour with In Dying Arms and Volumes coming into play into Tampa, and the stage went absolutely wild for these guys. Really glad I got a vinyl copy of this. Came with a CD, came with a poster as well. This is on like a magenta swirl vinyl. I can't say enough good things about this album overall, though. I mean, even the beginning track is just like a 30-minute intro, kind of peaceful, melodic. But Whispers of Your Death, Bound to the Burn, Unwavering Vow, A Eulogy for Those Still Here is the surprise song. Was not expecting it when this song came out, but it just grabbed me by the throat. Absolutely beautiful, melodic, great singing, and it's one of those songs that, you know, if you're feeling down, you're by yourself, I don't recommend putting on that song right away. You may not feel a little bit better, but you might have a little bit of catharsis from that song itself. I know that song itself, it's definitely getting me through some tough stuff that's going on. So overall, the record's fantastic. The lead singer even makes a couple of notations, some shout-outs. Anyone who knows the lead singer, he loves his cat Kuma. He says cat Kuma's got him through a lot of stuff. One of his songs he even dedicates to his dad as well. Every song on here is a banger. Can't recommend it enough. Make sure you check out the new Counterparts album. Eulogy for those still here. Beautiful, beautiful record by them. So glad I got it. Can't wait to see what these guys do on tour. Unfortunately, I missed Furnace Fest this year. A lot of stuff going on with work, so didn't get to go see them, but hopefully they'll be in Tampa Bay, Florida soon. So I did want to talk about one more tour that I was just at. It was Trivium Whitechapel, Between the Buried and Me, and Chemist. Overall, fantastic show. Trivium came out like pros. They're Florida natives. It was like a hometown show for them. They even stopped the show halfway through because there was a big fight kind of going on. And there was a bunch of judo and jiu-jitsu people there, which was kind of cool. So he stopped the show and just said, hey, you know, cut it out. But Matt Heafy, Paulo, Corey, the new drummer is fantastic. The band played great. They played a nice mixture of old and new. They didn't focus on the last two records a whole lot, which was kind of nice because they even came out and played Shogun, which, you know, is one of their longest songs. It was incredible to hear Shogun live again. Can't say enough good things about how clean these guys sound. These guys sound incredible live. Whitechapel, they played basically one song off of This Is Exile. The remainder of the songs were basically just coming straight off of Kin, which is different than the last two times I've seen them. Last two times I've seen them, they played a little bit of old and new. This was basically a playthrough of Kin. They had a heavy emphasis on the melodic songs. They even played Orphan, which I never thought I would hear live. But Orphan live really did just catch me off guard, and it sounded incredible. Make sure you go see Whitechapel if you have a chance. I know some people are a little iffy about the melodic direction, but I do think they sound very mature. The topics are more relatable. It's a little bit, you know, coming away from like the death grind and the death metal and the topics of horror movies and all that stuff, and some of the stuff they used to talk about, like somatic defilement. I don't mind the direction they're taking. I think it's a little bit more relatable. I think the melody just adds extra textures to the records. I still love Kin. I love everything they've done. I'm interested to see where the band goes after this. I know these bands, Whitechapel's been touring nonstop for a very, very long time, and I'm sure they're exhausted, and they probably want a break. But I do like Kin. I like the direction they took with it. This tour was a little different because they played almost exclusively songs from Kin, including the final track. I thought they did a really good job. The crowd looked great. Everybody was in a good mood. And then, of course, Bloodsoaked Symphony live. Just chug, nasty, get violent, mosh, hit some people. I think they had a lot of fun doing this show. I know I did. Hopefully next time I get to see them. Like I said, this is my third time in a year seeing them. Really glad I got to see them on this tour. Interested to see where they go. Last tour I saw them, they actually came out and played Let Me Burn live, which I never thought I would be able to hear live again. So I'm glad that they're still keeping up with the repertoire of their older songs. So we have a local record store. to change our topic back to the vinyl. We have a local record store called Sound Exchange, and I know this band is really hard to get on vinyl, and if you do get it, it's expensive. But this is Impending Doom. This is the Serpent. This is going for a lot of money on eBay. I'm glad Sound Exchange didn't get overly rambunctious with the pricing. This actually came out for a really good price. And this comes on your beautiful blue. Overall, this is definitely one of their older records. One of their biggest songs off here is More Than Conquerors. But the entire record, heavy, dirty, nasty, and melodic at sometimes. Overall, just it's a fun, a deathcore album. These guys are a little bit more like Christian deathcore. They even have a title for themselves called Goreship, because imagine death metal, deathcore, and Christianity all mixed together. Couldn't say enough good things about these guys. I have the remainder of their discography on CD, which some of their older ones are getting a little bit harder to find. So if you do like these guys and you're able to pick up something by them, do it, because this band, right now they're on a different label, and I think it's MRNP Heavy, which is where the new EP came off of. The new EP, it's 5 or 6 songs, but after you pay shipping and all that stuff, it gets expensive fast. And the new CD, it's only 5 songs, but the new CD was $17, almost the same price as the vinyl. So MRNK Heavy, my apologies. I think that used to be the old E1 records. But MRNK Heavy, yeah, I mean, shipping's going up. Everything costs a fortune now. I would love to have the new CD and the new vinyl for the EP, but it's definitely expensive. So for right now, I'm happy having a digital copy. But this is the Serpent by Impending Doom. Go check these guys out if you haven't before. Like I said, deathcore. They call themselves Goreship. There's a little bit of Christianity, and it's tasteful. I enjoy it. I enjoy the Christian side of this band as well as the death metal side. So the return of this band. Can't believe it's finally here. Took a long time to get it from Solid State Records, but I'm glad it finally came in when it did. But this is none other than Becoming the Archetype and their new record, Children of the Great Extinction. What a great return to form for this band. The original members are back in. They still have a lot of great elements that you remember from Dichotomy. And I mean, even going back to the very first album, like the artwork even reminds me of the very first album. Overall, fantastic album from cover to cover. You got 10 songs. We got 2 different discs, side A, B, C, D. And from cover to cover, it's just a beautiful blend of everything they've ever done. This is an old poster back from the Dichotomy days of this Becoming the Archetype Dichotomy. They played at this little Christian center in Melbourne, Florida. Basically at an old non-denominational Christian center where they do their services. Count Seth and Jason Wisdom were able to sign the poster for me. This is going back to the Dichotomy days, but Jason Wisdom's back in the band. You know what? They said they wrote it during the COVID thing. They actually had a pretty cool interview talking about this. But overall, what an excellent return to form. There's even a song in there that's completely without vocals, and it reminds me a lot of what you hear off of Dichotomy. Everything that you could love from this band is represented on this album. Overall, I'm so happy that they came out with it, and this band gave us some more to jam to. These guys are originally from Atlanta, Georgia. Some of them I know a little bit dispersed in there. Solid State Records. Overall, I know the first colored vinyl sold out pretty quickly, so I got the next one that came out after that. But what an excellent return to form. Glad these guys are back. And then I just wanted to show you one more thing, that this actually came with my Counterparts record, and obviously I'm going to keep talking about this album because I love it so much. But Counterparts, Eulogy for those still here. This is the album art, and then this is the band. My apologies, upside down. Little poster that came with it. So that's kind of where I've been. Just been a busy year, a lot of stuff going on. I hope everyone out there is doing really well. This was kind of fun to try this again. I know this is, your poorly edited videos or not edited at all. It's almost Halloween, horror movies, heavy metal, pumpkin, everything. So far, so good, you guys. I hope everyone out there is doing well. Hope you guys are taking care of each other. Leave some stuff down in the comments. Would love to chat with you guys. Comment, like, subscribe. There should be some more videos coming out here soon. Again, this is just a fun little hobby to get back into. I hope you guys are all doing really well. And take care of yourselves out there.